those of you who know what this is, you might even be booing me through the screen, and that's okay. When you're setting up your home studio, usually you're wanting to decide what kind of audio interface am I going to be using? Am I going to be using outboard gear or a lot of plugins? Do I want to have really good instruments, really good amps, good drums, or do I want to do more in the box? Well, just recently I made the decision to start over my home studio, and a lot of that had to do with personal reasons that, number one, our family is going to be growing soon, and I don't even know what the future holds for this music room. It might just end up being a bedroom in the future, who knows? But when I had my RME Babyface Pro, there was a consensus that the RME Babyface Pro has really great preamps, and I don't want to knock RME at all. If you decide to get an RME audio interface, I'm quite certain you're going to be pleased with the results that you get. But while I had the RME interface, I had in the back of my mind that I would eventually go back to having analog gear. I would have outboard gear like preamps, channel strips, compressors, etc. A few years ago, even on my YouTube channel, when I was documenting the process of us recording and mixing the song Sunday Afternoon, you would have noticed that I had Adam A7X monitors, I had a Universal Audio MK2 audio interface, and I had several pieces from Warm Audio. I had the WA73 EQ, which is basically their version of a Neve 1073 preamp with their EQ section, and then their version of the LA2A, which is a compressor called the WA2A. I had all of this lovely goodness, and when I was recording that song, one of the biggest frustrations that I had was that since I am the person who is recording the instruments, and I'm also the person who is mixing or producing the song, I have to be doing multiple things all at once. I can't sit there and stare at a compressor and watch the metering. I can't be setting the EQ while I'm also playing guitar at the same time. Some of these things were frustrations. It's not that I didn't like the sound of what I was getting, but I decided that the amount of money that I was spending on outboard gear wasn't worth it when I compared to what I could get in the plugin world. To me, this is not a scientific approach whatsoever, but to me, being able to save a preset for the settings that I was using for whatever that situation was so much more handy than just being able to say that I'm going the straight analog path. Because when you're setting up your home studio, you're probably making decisions as well. Am I going to be more analog, outboard gear focused? Am I going to be more digital focused with plugins and latest technology stuff? Or are you going to do something in between, maybe like a hybrid approach? So recently, if you haven't figured out already, I've sold my RME Babyface Pro. It was a 2-channel USB audio interface. The last video you saw from me was showing you how to set up the gain using that audio interface. I thought it was great. I used it with my Windows PC. My Windows PC was something that I built myself. It had my graphics card in it. It had my capture card for making YouTube videos. I could use my RME Babyface Pro for doing live streams on YouTube. Everything ran super smooth. But with the RME, in the back of my mind, I was always thinking I would make a transition back to outboard gear. So I would be checking prices for things like an LA2A, an 1176, maybe a 1073. And if you don't know this already, maybe I can have a disclaimer a little bit, but there are pieces of audio equipment out there that are extremely, extremely expensive. So when you're looking at something like an LA2A, it is a compressor, and that optical compressor, even on reverb, is going for $4,000, $5,000 brand new. And I'm sure it's worth every penny, but you have to ask yourself, what are you going to be doing work-wise? Because like I said, when I was working on that Sunday Afternoon song, I couldn't keep my eyes focused on a compressor. Or if I'm reaching over making adjustments, I'm not going to be playing at the same time. If I'm doing vocals or if I'm playing drums, it becomes even more difficult to go over and make those adjustments. You would really benefit if you're an engineer that the only thing you're doing is you're being the engineer for a band or an artist. This might be a route that you're willing to take. But let's talk about the money, because all of this stuff, if you've got your wish list of items that you're going to get, are you comfortable dropping $5,000 on an optical compressor? Are you even comfortable dropping $1,000? Because back in the day when you saw my YouTube videos, that Warm Audio compressor ran about $900, and that was like the used price back then. The 1073 EQ could run you about $1,200 as well. The Atom A7X monitors, like, we won't even get started on studio monitors today, but I see so many videos of people who they buy these really expensive studio monitors. They're supposed to be like the end all thing. And the first thing they do when they set them up is they call a contractor so they can completely demolish the room they're in so that the speakers will sound the way that they're supposed to sound in the first place. And if you take a step back from all of this and you start calculating how much am I spending just trying to be Mr. Analog? And for me, year after year, what I find is I end up purchasing something and then I end up selling it and coming back to digital. So where am I at today with starting over? Well, as you can see in the room, I've got my acoustic guitar, real handy. I've got my amp, handy. I've got instruments. My instruments and microphones have not gone anywhere. But what has changed is my audio interface. So my new audio interface going forward is this one here. This is the Universal Audio Apollo Twin X. Now, those of you who know what this is, you might even be booing me through the screen, and that's okay. Why would I get a DSP-based Universal Audio interface? Do I think that these preamps sound better than the RME Babyface Pro? I don't think they do. Do I think the converter sounds better on this audio interface than the RME Babyface Pro? No, I don't think it does. Now, when I plugged in my speakers, it could be stuff with like the differences in volume. I've not done any sort of major scientific test like that. But the reason I'm going with this was, number one, it was a 1-for-1 trade. I bought my RME Babyface Pro used from Guitar Center. And the price that I paid for that RME Babyface Pro, I was actually able to sell it for more than what I paid for it. So I bought that RME Babyface Pro for about $620 used on Guitar Center. I was able to sell it on Reverb for $730. This was a used UAD Apollo Twin Duo audio interface. I bought this from Guitar Center as well. This ran me about $680. So what do I get with this and why am I choosing this over the RME Babyface Pro? It's because I am deep in UAD plugins. Now, I'm not sponsored by anybody, which is the only reason I'm able to make a video like this and why I think this would be beneficial to you. I don't have anybody sponsoring me. I don't have people sending me stuff. I don't have people emailing me saying, oh, your YouTube videos are so great, we just want to give you a bunch of freebies. Year after year, I've spent my own money on the things like microphones, plugins, audio interfaces. And again, this is a situation where I spent my money on this audio interface because year after year, I paid top dollar for UAD plugins. And if you go to their website now, those same UAD plugins are running about $49 each. It doesn't make me angry at UAD. I wish I had known in the past that plugins that used to cost $300 would only be costing $49 when they go on sale. I've got many of these that are native. UAD makes them native where you don't have to have DSP to run their plugins, but there are plugins that are still not native. AutoTune Advanced from UAD, I own a copy of it, but I've not been able to use it because I did not have DSP. When I was using my RME interface, my Neve 1084 Unison preamp from Apollo, it could not be used. I could not use AutoTune whatsoever, which I think for the purpose of this YouTube channel, being able to show y'all how to use AutoTune would be a great resource. And then also things like the reverbs and compression that you can get while you're recording. So the Unison technology and the console software where I can track vocals with those same effects in a digital world is worth it. I've not known this stuff to sound bad. I'm sure it doesn't sound the same as having an LA2A, but looking at the cost difference and not knowing what the future holds for this room, I can take this, chunk this in my backpack, which I've done many times. I can take this to church with me. I can record drums, piano, anything I want, all from my backpack. And just knowing that inside of this machine as well, I have an LA2A. I have a 1073, I have a 1084, I have the 1176 in here. And if you can get to a headspace where really you don't mind using the plugins and you don't think you're shortchanging yourself to go digital instead of analog, you're going to be saving a ton of money. Whereas back with the RME lifestyle, if I get in with the RME audio interface or something like a Focusrite Scarlett, or maybe you have a PreSonus audio interface, look at the prices of preamps, look at the prices of compressors, look at the prices of EQs, whatever your favorite gear is, put it on a wish list on Sweetwater if you want, and look at how much it adds up to. And for me, where I'm at in life, like I enjoy making YouTube videos, but I don't think I want to devote my life to saving up for audio gear when in fact I would much rather put the money towards things like a new guitar amp, a new bass, a new drum set, something that I can actually create music with rather than just compress that same music. So I'm going to try to keep everything documented with the projects we're working on moving forward. Specifically, those of you that are using PreSonus Studio One, you'll be seeing videos from me as I get up and running with this audio interface. If you enjoy the content and you're looking for more, be sure to check out videos here on my YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll be seeing you very shortly here on the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.